A young lady called Anne Griffin, who lived in Burton Agnes Hall, was walking home from a nearby village. As she came close to her house, she was stopped on the road by a pair of men who were begging for money. The kindly Anne opened her purse to give them some money, but the evil men only saw that she was wearing a diamond ring. The vicious pair demanded that she hand over her jewelry. The men grabbed at the ring, and when Anne resisted, the evil men beat her savagely with a club and fled. Anne managed to crawl to the gateway of her home, where she was discovered by a servant. However, her wounds were so severe that she died only a few hours later. But before her death, she made a request of her family that shocked them all. She asked that upon her death, her head would be removed from her body and kept in the house. Disturbed by the macabre request, the family didn't honor it and buried her intact in the church graveyard the following day. However, the night of the funeral, strange things began to happen. Banging and wailing echoed throughout the house all night, and this banging went on for 3 whole days. Horrified by what was happening, they decided to try and appease what they assumed was the spirit of Anne, so they exhumed her body. However, when they opened the coffin, they discovered that Anne's head had been stripped of all flesh, and the skull seemed to be grinning at them. However, they decided to take the skull back to the house, and that following night, they slept peacefully. Years later, after the family moved out and a new family moved in, they discovered a strange box in the house. Inside the box was this Grinning Skull. Disturbed by it, they decided to throw away the skull. However, when they did, the house began to shake. Pictures and things fell off the mantle and off the walls. So they quickly retrieved the skull and brought it back in, and the house was silent again. However, when they moved out again, a new family moved in, and they were immediately warned of this grinning skull in the house. Fearful that they may incur the wrath of Anne, they decided to brick up a small section of the house with the skull inside, so that the skull could never be removed from the premises again. No one knows exactly where the skull is, but people believe that it is behind a painting of Anne herself on the main stairway. And if you ask, people say that every year, on the anniversary of her death, the ghost of Anne can be seen emerging from the painting, floating down the stairs and around the house, until eventually it leaves the house and floats down the alley where Anne was killed.